Lesson 11 Chess Tactics, Discovered Attacks and Double Checks. Part 1, Discovering Discovered Attacks in Chess. Concepts. What is a discovered attack? The most powerful kind of attack. The discovered check. Why the copycat opening never works. Introducing the discovered attack flash check and why you should never copycat. 1. E4 E5 2. Nf3 Nf6 3. X5 X4 and for Q2. The term discovery or discovered attack is used when a piece moves from a rank, file or diagonal and uncovers an attacking piece of the same color teammate along that line. There are three types of discoveries, with the most powerful being the double check discussed in Part 2. Discovered check and attack are covered here. To get our discovery party started, we are reviewing a commonly played, though very bad, opening at the amateur scholastic level, the copycat. Black's third move needs to be 3. D6, which would be the Petova defense, a solid non-copycat variation. 3. X4 loses. Continued. The copycat opening continued, the devastating discovered check. The knight does the attacking, and the queen does the checking in this discovery party. After 4. Q2 black can no longer continue to copy with 4. Q7, as after 5. X4. If black captures white's knight, black will lose the queen for nothing. Defending the knight on e4 with a move like 4. D5 and box 5. D3, and black still has major issues to deal with. Most players at the beginner level will retreat the knight from e4, walking into a trap. White now has two devious discovered checks to choose from. The knight can actually move anywhere from e5, and black must first deal with the check coming from the queen on e2. In positions with discovered checks, the player should look for the most aggressive landing square for the piece in front of the line file, in this case. Both 5. G6 plus, winning the rook on h8, and 5. NC6 plus winning the queen are good. Copyright Chesskit.com, page 1 of 9. Lesson 11. The discovered attack, the most powerful kind of double attack in chess. The discovered double attack. The best kind. A discovered attack is the same as discovered check, except the enemy king is not directly involved in the attacking move. Because there is no check involved, any effective discovered attack must also be a double attack of some kind. In this case, white plays a discovery that attacks both black's undefended queen on e7, and checkmate. 1. Xe6. Wins immediately. White unleashes a devastating discovered threat on black's queen. White's queen is threatening to capture it and also threatens to capture 2. A7 checkmate. If 1. Kicks to 2. A7 number sign, and if 1. Xe6 to kicks 7, win enough material to take the game home. The discovered attack continued. Less valuable unleashed attacking pieces. Both black's rook and bishop are hanging after 1. Bg1, but a discovered double attack still wins. One of the key components that made our last discovery so effective was that the black queen on e7 was undefended. If the queen had defense by one of her teammates, the queen on e2 would have only been trading, thus making a knight sacrifice on c6 useless. In cases when the piece under attack is defended, the key is to be attacking with a lesser valued chessman. Take this diagram for example. Black wins with the discovered attack 1. Bg1. This move threatens to Qxh to checkmate and unveils an attack from the d7 rook to the white queen. Note the power of this attack is based on the trade of both the g1 bishop and the d7 rook being better than white's queen. After 2. Kxg1 Rx d3 3. Rx d3 Qa1 plus and captures the a2 pawn. Win. Defending against discovered attacks and checks, always be careful. 1. C5. Blocks the bishop on d7 from the game. It is the nature of a discovery tactic to always come with some element of surprise, therefore it is an easy idea to overlook. In this position white has the obvious shot of 1. Northeast 5, forking the queen on g6 and the d7 pawn. It seems that this tactic should be played without any further consideration, right? Wrong. Black has a tricky defense. 1. Northeast 5 is met by 1. Qxg2 plus 2. Kxg to c5 plus, wing back the queen and remaining ahead by a pawn. Having a defensive eye for a possible shot like this from your opponent is a good idea. White would have maintained a clearly better position with the move 1.c5, and then northeast 5. Copyright Chesskit.com page 2 of 9. Lesson 11. The most powerful discovered check. The windmill tactic. This famous game was 1-0 Tare, C. Lasker, E. Moscow 1925. Another famous broken pin not mentioned in Lesson 10 would be from this game, played by two of the greatest players of the early 20th century. Former world champion Emanuel Lasker has just recently played the move h6 to attack the pin bishop on g5. Moving the bishop would allow the queen on h5 to be captured free of charge. As mentioned in Lesson 10, broken pins can potentially turn into powerful discovered attacks. Recognize this potential in your own games. Here White plays the move 25. Boldface 6, sacrificing the queen to execute a combination based around the most crushing type of discovered check, the windmill. After 25. Qx h5 26. Rx g7 plus kh8 continued. The windmill check continues, and continues, keeps going, and going. Trapping the enemy king in a windmill tactic guarantees at least perpetual check. Lesson 20 and also naturally creates a potential mating net. In this position black is now at white's mercy. White could move the rook anywhere other than g8 or h7, which would lose the rook, and the bishop on f6 gives check to the king. Even more importantly, this pattern can be repeated until white decides otherwise. Rook moves, king takes whichever square he legally can, either g8 or h7, and the rook goes back, and we rinse and repeat. Tare had already foreseen the most accurate way to win material via this windmill attack, and he proceeded with 27. Rx f7 plus kilograms 828. Rg7 plus kh 829. Rx b7 plus kilograms 830. Rg7 plus kh 8 and 31. Rg5 plus, win back the queen and eventually the game after 31. Kh 732. Rx h5 kilograms 633. Rh3 kx f634. Rx h6 plus, win. Note that 31. Rx 7 plus would be a mistake after 31. Kilograms 832. Rg7 plus kh 833. Rg5 plus kh 734. Rx h5 kilograms 635. Rh3 kx f636. Rx h6 plus kilograms 7, and black now wins back the a2 pawn with enough rook activity to maintain drawing chances. Copyright Chesskit.com page 3 of 9. Lesson 11 Chess Tactics. Discovered attacks and double checks. Part 2. More discovered attacks and double checks. Concepts: the most powerful check and the king's worst enemy, the double check. The Venus flytrap mating net. Using discovered check and double check in practical games. The complete Venus flytrap. A mating net based around double check after 1. Kilograms 8 white must play forcing moves. In its most simple form, the Venus flytrap mating net, also referenced in Lesson 7, looks like our first diagram here. However, this mating pattern can occur in practical games in a number of different forms, so learn it well. It all starts with 1. F7 plus by white, forcing the response 1. Kilograms 8. Now, white seems to be faced with a tough position. The queen on d5 is under attack, the knight is attacked by the king, and any passive move might allow re1, delivering a back-rank checkmate to the white king. What can white do? Well, as you will learn, arguably the strongest chess move possible in a game is the double check. The Venus flytrap continued, the smothered checkmate climax. The Venus flytrap would not work without delivering the devastating double check on h6. White plays 2. Nh6 plus 2 plus symbols represent double check in algebraic notation. Now, we see the beautiful picture. The queen on d5 is hanging, the knight on h6 can be taken, and if black could, she would not hesitate to deliver check along the first rank. But none of those things are possible when the king is in double check. The only way out of a double check is for the king to move to safety. Regardless if both the pieces giving check are capturable, there is no way to take both pieces with one move. The black king must run to safety with 2. Kh8 to Kf8 simply allows 3. Qf7 number sign, and now white delivers the final blow, a queen sacrifice that forces black to smother his royal majesty. 3. Qg8 plus Rx g8 and 4. Nf7 is checkmate. Copyright Cheskit.com. Page 4 of 9. Lesson 11. Double check is the king's worst enemy. Only he can save himself. All the minor pieces are in the game. To provide further proof that the double check truly is a king's worst enemy, we move on to a practical example where the white king finds himself checkmated in the middle of the board in the opening, no less, despite the seemingly improbable circumstances that both black's checking pieces are capturable. 1. In multiple ways. Black plays the crushing a1 and f3 and checkmate. Note that 1 and xd3 was also double check, but doesn't measure up because the white king can escape to d2. Despite both the f3 knight and the e7 queen being under enemy fire, they are both helping to deliver checkmate. Double checkmating nets. Example 1. The knight and rook discovery. White to move and force mate in 3 moves. We finish with 2 well-known puzzles where a discovered double check led directly to a forced checkmate. Again, we call these mating nets because once the net is thrown against the enemy king, it is only a matter of time before the net closes. White starts off with 1 rg8+. After 1 kxg8 1 kh7 allows 2 and xf6+. Rxf6 3 r3g7 checkmate to and xf6++ not to and xh6++ because 2 kh7 escapes the net and it is white who now loses to kh8 or f8 and 3 rg8 number sign. White sacrificed the rook on g8 in order to force the black king onto a square that allowed the discovered double check to take place. White's mate in 3 was totally forced. Double checkmating nets. Example 2. The bishop and rook discovery. No piece is unsacrificable when there is a chance for forced checkmate in 3. Our next classic mating net displaying the decisive double check also involves attracting the enemy king onto the right square that allows the double check to happen. Attraction is the opposite of a deflection. Lesson 12 tactic. Whereas deflection and decoys take a piece away from a job it needs to do, attraction is designed to force a piece onto an unfavorable square. Like forcing white's king to f1. Black plays 1 qf1+, sacrificing the queen for a forced checkmate. After 2 kxf1 bd3 3 k1 rf1 is checkmate. Hopefully our examples have revealed just how strong and compelling a double check tactic can be. The final position shows the rook and bishop working well together in a common mating pattern. White could do nothing to stop it. Copyright Cheskit.com. Page 5 of 9. Lesson 11 Chess Tactics, Discovered Attacks and Double Checks. Instructor's Guide. Whether it be a discovered attack, discovered check, or discovered double check, discoveries are some of the most powerful moves possible in a chess game. Knowledge of these patterns is critical for understanding chess tactics, and will take a player to the next level in terms of their tactical vision and awareness. Lesson 11 has been organized in the order we recommend the student learn these concepts, starting with the most basic discovery, the discovered attack, and moving on to discovered check and eventually double check. It is easiest to teach students the concept of discovered attack first, as it is truly nothing more than a tricky version of a double attack, which they are already familiar with from Lesson 9. We gave a bonus introduction to the tactical theme of attraction in Part 2. Attraction is easy enough to understand just as we explained it, but because this theme is considered slightly more complicated than the fundamental motifs we have selected for this lesson, we do not go into this concept any further here. However, there will be further examples of attraction tactics in Lesson 12. As suggested in the Lesson 10 Instructor's Guide, it is highly advisable for every chess coach to have a good collection of tactics puzzles on hand for their students. Practical notes and advice. Lesson 11. Try to review each discovered attack diagram on a demo board or with a projector screened in your class, rather than expecting the students to self-review this lesson. If possible, read ahead and challenge your students, approaching each diagram as a puzzle first, only reviewing the content after an attempt at solving. You will find a number of highly entertaining video lessons to accompany this particular tactical theme in our video library on www.cheskit.com. Using fun word association with each type of discovered attack can help your students commit the ideas to memory. For example, you may notice we use terms such as devious, devastating, dynamic and others to talk about the different discovered attacks/checks in this lesson. Copyright Cheskit.com page 6 of 9. Lesson 11 Lesson 11, Use your discovery. Use your newly discovered knowledge. Find the winning discovery in each of the following diagrams. Circle the piece that should move, then circle the square it should move to. Bonus: write the winning move in algebraic notation to the right of each diagram. White to play. Can you find the best discovery? V./90FJM. Black to play. Can you find the best discovery? White to play. Can you find the best discovery? White to play. Can you find the best discovery? Copyright Cheskit.com page 7 of 9. Lesson 11 Lesson 11, Use your discovery. Use your newly discovered knowledge. Find the winning discovery in each of the following diagrams. Circle the piece that should move, then circle the square it should move to. Bonus: write the winning move in algebraic notation to the right of each diagram. White to play. Can you find the best discovery? White to play. Can you find the best discovery? White to play. Can you find the best discovery? White to play. Can you find the best discovery? Copyright Cheskit.com page 8 of 9. Lesson 11 Use your discovery. Answer key. Worksheet page 1. Diagram number 1. 1 doll pen c6 plus. Wins the queen on h5. Circle the knight. Circle the c6 square. Diagram number 2. 1 doll qc8. Wins the knight on a6 because of the discovered attack on the black queen by the white rook on e8. Circle the black queen. Circle c8 square. Diagram number 3. 1 doll pen f6 plus. Wins the queen on e8. Circle the knight. Circle the f6 square. Diagram number 4. 1 doll pen c4 plus. Wins the rook on e1 because of the discovered attack by the white rook on e7. Circle the knight. Circle the c4 square. Worksheet page 2. Diagram number 1. 1 doll n7 plus or 1 dot d6 plus win the queen on b1. Circle the knight. Circle the a7 and slash or d6 squares. Diagram number 2. 1 doll bxg7 plus. Wins the black queen on d5. Circle the bishop. Circle the g7 rook. Diagram number 3. 1 doll d8 equals queen plus. Wins. White is promoting the pawn to a queen and unleashing the discovered check by the rook on d7. Circle the d7 pawn. Circle the d8 square. Diagram number 4. 1 doll pen f5 plus is forced checkmate into moves after 1 kilograms 8 to nh6 checkmate. Circle the knight. Circle the f5 square. Copyright Cheskit.com page 9 of 9.